What's up, guys, and welcome back. It's been a while since we've started any kind of a debate on this channel, so let's talk about hot air intakes. Okay, so as some of you who have been around and seen what is going to be my project car, my red 99 GTP, and seen under the hood of it, you'll notice that it has what some would call a short ram or hot air intake or whatever, a tube with a filter on it. And this is something that is hotly debated at times in the tuner community and in with car people in general. And it always seems to come down to the fact that you're trying to flow more air versus the fact that you're pulling air from under the hood instead of outside. So before anyone asks, and so far they actually haven't, I can't believe it, I wanted to give you the reasons why my car has this intake as opposed to some other kind of a setup. Number one, it's a lot easier to work on. I don't know if any of you who have these second gen W bodies know the air filter is a ridiculous pain in the butt to get in and out of these because the air tube is so short and it's packaged so close to the air box that you basically have to take the tube completely off with it just to get the air filter out, which is obnoxious to me because, I don't know, when you work on cars all day long, these kinds of things bother you. But also, with the PCM being in the air box, which I understand is good for the PCM, having air pulled past it helps keep it cool, but it also makes the box huge and really bulky. A lot of things that you might want to get to over there are below the air box, so you end up having to take it in and out a lot if you work on your car very often. I don't like this because, like I said, I work on cars all day long. So when I'm home working on my own cars, I try to keep it as headache-free as possible. And one of the ways that I've done that is this intake, because if you notice the way I have mine set up, it's long enough to keep the filter near the front, but it's still short enough that it can come off and on in one piece. So I can literally pop the connector off the intake the air charge intake temperature sensor and take that one clamp off and the entire thing just pops right out. Like, it's out of my way in 3 or 4 seconds. It's awesome. Number two, with the temperature thing, there's a couple different ways that I could go about doing this. But the thing is, underhood temperature is bad in general. It's bad for everything. The hotter your underhood temperatures stay, the more brittle the plastic becomes, the more brittle the wiring insulation becomes, the more, pretty much everything about it is bad. So one of the other reasons that I chose to go with an open element type of an intake is that rather than go to extra lengths to try to make sure the car is pulling 100% of its air from outside of the car, I would just rather work on bringing underhood temperatures down. And I'll do some videos on how I plan on doing that. And I've already made some changes I haven't talked about, but I'll get that all grouped together. But essentially, my philosophy is more of, if I can keep underhood temperatures lower, or quite a bit lower, then the air being pulled from there is better already, but also the engine itself will have less trouble running cooler, and it's just better in general for everything under the hood. When you're moving, for the most part, the underhood temperatures are really low anyway. It's really more when you're sitting still that it's a problem. And you don't need a lot of horsepower when you're sitting still anyway, unless you're worried about how many horsepower your engine's making idling, or for the first 60 feet, which I guess is important if you're drag racing, but then most people don't sit and idle for an hour before they go drag racing. So all that said and done, that's that. Third one, if I'm not hurting anything, it does sound pretty cool. The supercharger whine is really noticeable with an open element filter, which is just an interesting thing. It draws attention to the car. I just kind of like it, and it doesn't hurt me. Number four, it looks better. I think I like my underhood area to be as clean as possible, and I still have a long way to go with this car on getting that done. But as some of you might know, I can't stop working on the problem child long enough to work on this one. But having that big bulky airbox out and that nice shiny pipe, because that is a polished aluminum piece, having that in there I think looks much better than the stock setup. And if you are going to try to show off your Grand Prix, you know, having the underhood nice and clean is just a nice addition. And once again, it doesn't really hurt anything. And my fifth and most important reason is why not? I don't race this car. 3 or 4 tenths of a second difference in his acceleration from stop to 60 honestly isn't going to make a difference to me. I purely mess with this car because it's fun to mess with, and I mod it to be what I want it to be, not so much to accomplish a specific goal. So even if underhood temperatures were very high, and even if that was costing me a noticeable amount of horsepower, let's say 5 or 10 horsepower. Honestly, in the way I use this car right now, I would never notice, and neither would anyone else. So with the other advantages that you get with this, to me, it was just worth it. Not saying it will be for every car, and I'm not saying that it will be for you. But for me, it definitely was. I mean, I do have this little heat pump called an M90 warming up all the air coming in anyway, so it really doesn't matter on these where you're pulling air. Anyway, that was that. I just wanted to explain that and kind of show you how that's doing, but that's why I have that intake on that car. The problem child still has a stock intake just because I can't justify spending any money on it right now with the 5,000 different ways it's broken this year. And will I change that or leave it the same? I don't know. I kind of like that car to be quieter and more unassuming anyway. But anyway, so you know the drill. If you like this video, make sure that you hit the thumbs up. If you hated it, hit the thumbs down button so that I know, because I do take these things into consideration. Don't forget to check out my Teespring and check out the shirts I have for the channel to help support them. This is not one of them. This is a Myrtle Beach shirt. And make sure you're subscribed to my channel and make sure you hit the bell icon so you know when I upload, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much and peace.